Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to another viewer submitted game of StarCraft 2. What I've got for you is a Terran versus Protoss, a Silver League game where apparently our Terran player over here is sending out a little train of SCVs towards what seems to be the other side of the map. Now, I know that I've already uploaded a viewer submitted game this week, but I mean, if this one is even half as good as the Protoss game, we should be in for a treat, right? So spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner of Ephemeron, currently in Silver League, playing with the red Terran SCVs. We are looking inside of the main base of Boy Wonder. Boy Wonder, what a great name. His opponent in the opposite corner, and by the way, this is apparently where the SCVs are currently hanging out. His opponent sending out a probe towards the other side of the map right now as well, playing with the blue Protoss pieces. We are looking inside of the main base of Abstractage. Abstractage? Abstractage. I'm not entirely sure. I think that's something along those lines. Anyways, he's going to be the blue Protoss player right here. And already the Terran player is starting off with a barracks. Now, I'll be honest with you. I've casted many viewer submitted games. And generally speaking, right, especially in like the Silver League games like this one, usually it's the Protoss player who's the one who's opening up a little bit cheekily. Okay, I was going to say, it is going to be a forge. It is going to be a forge. Okay, at the same time though, Terran is also cheesing over here. I don't really know if this is representative or if it's just like the games that get submitted to me for me to go ahead and cast. But it seems like every single game that I cast of lower league is like anything Protoss really, but especially like Protoss versus Zerg and Protoss versus Protoss, and actually also Protoss versus Terran for what it's worth. Even though Terran can lift our buildings, it's a terrible idea on paper to cannon rush a Protoss, or a Terran player rather, because, well, they can just lift their buildings and get on out of there. Yeah, it still happens all the time. Is this really something that happens that much? I'm always curious about that. But anyways, it's going to be a gateway on the other side of the map. A photon cannon is being planted down. A couple of them are coming up. There's already an engineering base, so I guess he's going to go for a planetary fortress. He's currently making a marine after producing a tech lab on the barracks. This is a proper Bronze League Heroes game already. I love it. Okay, so we have a photon cannon rusher following it up right now with a couple of gateways, going up against someone who seems to want to go for like a planetary fortress, but who's also simultaneously cheesing with a couple of barracks. There's a second barracks, but it's not producing anything. There's now a factory coming up as well. He's gonna go for a Reaper. I hope he does know that these days you do not need a tech lab anymore to produce a Reaper. That used to be a thing way back. Okay, at the very least, Boy Wonder right now, he's gonna find out what's going on, or at the very least half of what is going on. You will see indeed exactly that there are a couple of photon cannons set out right outside of his main base. And he's like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send my one Marine. Jimmy, no! Jimmy! Jimmy, that's a photon cannon! Damn it, Jimmy! At what point does it just simply become natural selection, okay? He just ran into the photon cannon, didn't even flinch. Okay, so why is the engineering bay here? Like, the only reason I can imagine an engineering bay at this point in the game would be for a planetary, right? Okay, yeah, no, there it is. He is gonna go for a planetary fortress right now. At the same time, there was a little bit of a switcheroo on the other side of the map where now the factory has the tech lab on it. Please use these SCVs to repair. No? Okay, never mind. Never mind. Don't worry about him. He's instead going to replace the depot a little bit closer to the safety of that planetary, simultaneously making a bit of a wall off. Reaper right now, though, inside of that main base. Nice. A little bit of micro there from Boy Wonder. He's dealing a little bit of damage. Now got to start working on that pylon. Now, that pylon should never go down here. But it's not attacking the probes anymore, and apparently Abstractage is like, you know what, that's not a big deal. He's now gonna go ahead and lift up the barracks as well and land that inside of the main base. Planetary Fortress, though, did finish up. It already got a single kill there, so I think that's one of those, one of the probes going down. So what exactly is gonna be the follow-up right now from Abstractage? Abstractage. Is he just gonna continue feeding this Planetary Fortress more and more units? Because I secretly hope that that is not the case. There's a couple of photon cannons right now going up inside of the main base here. He's going to go for a cybernetics core as well. By the way, that pylon, don't tell me that pylon's going to be killed by one Reaper. Oh, man. That Reaper. I mean, it could have killed like a dozen probes in the meantime, okay? But that Reaper should never have been it. Like, just go around. Don't attack over there. Just go around. Go fight right over there. Don't die. Oh my god, it's just like Jimmy. Anyways, Siege Tank, though, was produced. And at this point in the game, there's absolutely nothing that Abstractage can really do other than pull the probes to try and get rid of this Siege Tank. He did apparently find a bit of a chink in the armor right here of Boy Wonder, slicing and dicing away right there over at that refinery. But, I mean, he's already got way too much gas, so it's not like he's really gonna need that much more. And actually, Abstractage, what in the world are you doing? Why would you plant down a Nexus over there? I just realized he's building it on a Nexus, and I'm like, okay, it can't be. Nope, it's over at the third. Apparently, he decided to make the Nexus right next to where everything was or everything was coming from. A Widow Mine will burrow over here as well, but surprise, Widow Mines do not attack structures. And at this point, actually, Boy Wonder is hard at work, while Jimmy is once again sleeping on the job. Or maybe this is Steve. There you go, there you go. They're gonna go ahead and start working here on that main Nexus of Abstractage, who decides to now go ahead and plant down a new expansion over at where the aggression is actually coming from. In the meantime, on the other side of the map, looks like a couple of Zealots ended up dying. We do see the recall here as well on 2 of these Stalkers. I don't know if it's gonna be enough. Now, the Siege Tank, oh god, the Siege Tank is actually right-clicked on that Nexus. Now, luckily here, the Stalkers are still taking a little bit of splash damage, but oh, Boy Wonder finally decides to retarget. I think he's not gonna be able to have enough. Walk forward! Move forward with this! Okay, then. Siege tanks do have a little bit of a, you know, a dead space, right? They're just like hunters in World of Warcraft Classic, where they can't actually hit you if you're a little bit too close. I mean, the photon cannon still falls, I guess, and the Nexus still is taking a lot of damage. Boy Wonder establishing a foothold right now inside of his opponent's main base. Stalkers are being produced, though, on the other side of the map. I guess he could go for another recall, but nah, it's gonna be on cooldown, and I feel like this Nexus is gonna be gone by the time that happens. One of the Stalkers, though, did manage to get the kill there on the Siege Tank, but, I mean... Oh, man. There's so much to pack up here. So, third base, or I guess what would be the third base here of the Protoss player, is gonna be picked up as well, because this one achieves absolutely nothing. Boy Wonder now, he's gonna apparently pull the probes. He did establish once again another Nexus here on the right-hand side. The probes are showing the direction at which they are supposed to go, and the Siege Tank sieges up in a location where it cannot actually help out in this battle whatsoever. SCV's still an idle over here inside of the main base of Boy Wonder, and this certainly has been a very silly, let's just call it silly, first 7.5 minutes or so of this game, okay? So, the main base of Protoss completely gone. The expansion of Protoss, I guess, will also be picked off here very easily. So that means that this base is gonna be the one that Abstractage is gonna have to rely on. Still though, Boy Wonder, he knows right now that he killed 2 Nexi. He has not got the revelation message yet, right? Maybe that's what he's waiting for right now. It takes a little bit of time after you kill your opponent's main structures. He didn't know that the probes left in this direction. It's like a big arrow pointing toward where the Protoss is expanding, but apparently he did not quite put 2 and 2 together. He's gonna continue working. Is he gonna go for the refinery again? Dude, they constructed the refinery again. Okay, Abstractage, you should really go ahead and kill it, okay? Don't let him actually mine. Boy Wonder right now re-establishing an engineering bay for absolutely no apparent reason. I guess he wants to go ahead and like make a command center in his opponent's main base and then turn this one into a planetary fortress too. So he's got the 2 corners of the map covered with a planetary. So both players decided to go for a bit of a strange opener. What exactly is the action plan right now? Because I do like the fact, right? All kidding aside, that obviously the execution there was not the greatest. But I do like the fact that both of them started off this game with a plan. I've coached many people in the lower leagues as well, and most of them just sort of start up the game, and then they start thinking, okay, what should I do this game? Both of these guys had a plan. Starting off in this match, the Terran player wanted to go ahead and do a very poorly executed like proxy right over here, and likewise for the Protoss player, he wanted to like start off with a very poorly executed proxy as well. Oh my god, he's walking his Marines. It's like walking a dog. This time around though, Steve and Jake did not fall for it, okay? Do you think that's Jake or Steve? No, you know, 8 SCV or 8 Marines actually ended up dying. Oh god, well, never mind. They still die. That one actually got spliced into 2 little sections. Ugh. These side blades certainly are sharp. But anyways, even though the execution was poor, they did have a plan, right? Going into this. Now, what is the follow-up going to be? That's my real question, right? Because this is going to be the moment where they have to improvise and where they have to restart from scratch. So, Abstractage, he lost his forge, okay? What do you think? Do you think he's going to be one of those cannon rushers who cannon rushes pretty much every single game, so that's kind of his safe haven? Please put down a forge as your first structure again. That would be funny. Could you please do that? He's selecting the probe. He's selecting the probe. He's clicking the command card in the bottom left or bottom right. No, he's going to go for a gas geyser instead. Okay, fair enough. Siege tanks right now rolling back on home. This is actually so easy to scout, right? But he has no idea. He should really be looking around on the map for any other outposts. I guess he's going to try and break himself free from the punishment right here of that Protoss army. A couple of those gateways, obviously. Very easy to unpower. He's actually going for the double gas first. Still focusing on probes, though. That's good, right? Getting that economical advantage is actually absolutely critical. The siege tank. Do you think Boy Wonder knows that you can use siege tanks without sieging them up? Generally speaking, not a terrible option. There's going to be a cybernetics core as well, by the way, since obviously these gateways are still alive. Okay, if he's going to go cybernetics core, I would imagine he's going to transition towards either Dark Templar or Void Rays. Right? Like, I think those are the two most common follow-ups from cannon rushes in lower league, right? Like, Void Rays obviously... No, he doesn't realize you can use them unsieged. Okay, here's a little bit of information. Boy Wonder, if you ever watch this video, siege tanks actually deal more single fire or single target damage when unsieged than when they are sieged up. Even though they're called siege tanks. Oh my god, look at that. They're walking a little piece right there. Oh, no. Don't do it. Now, obviously, they do need to be sieged up in order to outrange these photon cannons. So I do think that is the correct call. He's going to be able to break out of his own base. But in the meantime, Abstractage right here, which for some reason is a difficult name for me to pronounce, is expanding in the top right-hand corner. And this is still completely unscouted. It is going to be that Stargate, indeed. I would imagine Void Rays, right? Void Rays just make the most sense. Boy Wonder, what are you going to do about it, though? You have a planetary fortress over here. He did establish another expansion in the top left-hand corner in his opponent's old main base. He's currently sitting on, well, over 3,000 resources, which is a lot for someone who doesn't have a lot of economy. And you can see he's right now a little bit lost as to what's going on. Boy Wonder, though, did scout out now exactly where his opponent did expand, and he will find a completely saturated Protoss base. He's going to produce additional siege tanks, apparently. Maybe put some on the high ground right over here. But he needs to come up with a new plan, okay? I don't think missile turrets are going to be the name of the game right now. Marines should be totally fine. I think he's really worried about that one Stargate that he's seen. And indeed, the Void Ray does get produced right now. So he does start it up. Looks like the barracks will burn down here eventually. Maybe he can still sniff out this expansion right over here, too. There's a couple of additional gateways coming up right now. I do like this from Abstractage, though, right? He's doing a much better job right now following this up. Even though the game was a little bit of a disaster, he's doing a much better job right now macroing his way out of this. Because Boy Wonder, this simply doesn't have a lot of stuff. Now, the siege tanks and the Marines that were here to start attacking this base will find out about this expansion in the top right. Siege tank on the high ground will get picked off as well, but I've got a feeling that this base will not live for all too long. Void Ray will come out. There is a little bit of anti-air, right? Like, there are a couple of those Marines. And that should be enough. I mean, I don't really know exactly. 5 Marines? Well, without Stimpack, without upgrades, they're actually gonna have a hard time fighting that one Void Ray. He did manage to produce that starport, right? So I wouldn't mind seeing a couple of Vikings right now as well, so you can kite back and forth and get rid of those Void Rays from a little bit of a distance. Would also love to see additional Void Ray production. There we go. Maybe even a second Stargate. Not a terrible idea. But this is actually starting to become a bit of an issue right now, right? Boy Wonder really needs to ramp up his production, though. Like, he's got very little production for the amount of economy that he's got. General rule of thumb, guys, for those of you Terran players out there that are wondering, you should have about 3 unit-producing structures per mining base. That's like a good rule of thumb to keep. So right now, well, he's really only got 1 mining base, I suppose. He does have a couple of unit-producing structures, but he's not really producing out of them. But general rule of thumb, if you have 2 bases that are at least somewhat saturated, you should have about 6 or so unit-producing structures in the mid-game, just so you can actually spend your resources. Because that's always the biggest thing, right? Like, microing between the units, always nice. But it really doesn't matter too much if you have 5,000 resources sitting in the freaking bank that could have been units as well, because more stuff always beats less stuff. Okay, so 2 Void Rays are available. They're gonna activate Prismatic Alignment because of course they do. For those of you wondering, oh, go get him, go get him! Prismatic Alignment allows Void Rays to deal bonus damage to armored. Marines are light, they are not armored. Oh my god, he's chasing the siege tanks. Why is he chasing the siege tanks? Alright, well, apparently the one Void Ray dies only to tell the tale right there to that other Void Ray. He definitely could use a couple of Stalkers right now. He's gonna go ahead though and expand right now on the left-hand side as well. So Abstractage certainly has had a journey in this game, right? The Vikings did manage to get the kill right there on that Void Ray. But 3 additional Stargates are coming up. So if he manages to get a nice clump of Stargate units, he's actually gonna be in a really good spot. The question is Boy Wonder gonna find out about the base on the left-hand side? Now with these siege tanks over here, he should be able to continue fighting. He's obviously gonna siege up because that's what he does. Yo, dude, yeah, there you go. Siege tank can't fire when they're unsieged. Always use the siege mode. That one Liberator actually being really annoying as well. I've got a feeling that this Void Ray right now will just be spawn killed. Unless that 3rd Viking does not join the fray. Yeah, no. The 3rd Viking didn't really do that much, and that does mean, I think, that Abstractor should be able to hold on. Okay, no, never mind. Actually, the final shot right there of that Viking still managed to get the kill. Oh my god. This game has certainly become a little bit of a mess. But I think that Boy Wonder eventually should be able to clean up this expansion, considering there's really not that much here to defend anymore. Now, there are Void Rays being chrono boosted out on the left-hand side of the map, and Boy Wonder still has about a gajillion minerals and gas in the bank right now that he's not spending. He's producing 2 Vikings at once, but 2 Vikings aren't gonna be enough right now to really clean this one up. Of course, he sieges up the tank once again, because it's called a siege tank, Lowko. You should always be sieging up the tank. But I've got a feeling that this base will be picked off, and with that, the economy that Abstractage was setting up is completely gone. Now, he did manage to get himself that base over here, and he's now also expanding once again towards the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Boy Wonder, if you just add on, right? Listen to me. Just add on a couple of factories or add on a couple of barracks. Just go with like 3 or 4 additional structures and just start spending your money, okay? All of these resources that are in the bank, not quite what you're looking for. By the way, apologies if my voice sounds a little bit funny. I woke up with a bit of a cold today. I've got the sniffles. I guess that's the thing that happens at this time of the year. I went outside a couple of days ago, guys. So what I've learned at the very least is that, well, going outside, terrible suggestion. Learn from me, okay? Learn from the best. Lock yourself in the basement, right? Order groceries or something, like have them delivered at your home. And then never go outside again. Anyways, the Void Rays right there did save the day in the top right-hand corner. Apparently the Vikings, though, are now gonna try and clean and finish the job that those siege tanks started. And you know what? They actually deal quite a bit of damage. They actually deal quite a bit of damage there to that Nexus. It's only got a little bit of health remaining, and it will end up dying. Nice job right there by Boy Wonder, but I'm still looking. I'm still wondering, boy. Why do you have so many resources here in the bank? Here's that Void Ray fleet. Making its way right now towards that old main base of the Terran player. And with this amount of Void Rays, you can definitely get rid of a lot of these structures, right? I mean, obviously the missile turrets are going to be a little bit annoying, but there's not going to be that much here to defend. Planetary fortresses do not shoot up. Oh god, don't lose anything to that. Oh, no. Don't lose it. Okay, good. I was going to say, if you lose one of those Void Rays to a missile turret, that would be massively disappointing. Vikings right now in the bottom left-hand corner. Dude, these are Vikings with a job. Are those the same ones? No, they're actually different ones. They did actually land once again in the bottom left, though, and there's not a whole lot defending them over here either. Abstractage could try and go ahead and pick that off, but I guess he's busy microing right here inside of the main base. All of those Void Rays are gonna go to town on the Planetary Fortress, and the Planetary Fortress will end up dying here as well, as I don't see any way for Boy Wonder to defend against this. Now, still, he has so much money in the bank. Please add on more production, dude. Just please spend your money. Spending your money is like the biggest thing you could do right now. Okay, Void Rays going up against Vikings. These Vikings should not have a oh god, they have no chance. If they fight within prismatic alignment, they just get absolutely smashed. Alright, and with that, the old main base of the Terran player is gone. In the meantime, though, these two Vikings did manage to kill the base in the bottom left-hand corner. And they're gonna now start working on one of those Void Rays. Now, once again, they're fighting within prismatic alignment. Does make one of those Vikings lose its life. Second one, though, did manage to get the kill. And I guess it's gonna start working right now on these probes. As soon as he realizes what's going on anyway. Abstractage, though, should be able to save the day on this one as well. And he is gonna be able to save the expansion, at least for now. Now, does he even know? Yeah, okay, he does know, obviously, about the base in the top left. Finally, Boy Wonder is ramping up his production, so that's huge. He's adding on additional starport. Okay, Marines apparently not necessary. He does still obviously have that orbital command too. He's saturating the gases for no apparent reason. But he's gonna be able to start working here on this army. Now, oh god, no, don't fight over there, Abstractage! You're in, dude, missile turrets are so strong. Don't fight with the missile, oh god. Oh. No, what? Oh. Okay. So in total, 6 Void Rays have gone down in this game, and I feel like really only 1 or 2 have had to die there. I've got a feeling that this one Viking might be able to get 1 additional kill as well if he target fires down. There you go. The one Viking on the back. And Boy Wonder actually makes this right now a situation where he can win, right? I mean, there's a supply block right here for Abstractage. He has not really been able to re-establish his economy nearly as nicely. He once again looks like he wants to expand. I like the thought process here, but I feel like he needs to have more stuff. Now that Boy Wonder finally has ramped up his production, as long as he gets a bunch of units together, he should be able to make his way towards the expansions here of Abstractage, and he should actually be in a pretty good spot, right? Now, he's worried, obviously, but the thing is, you can micro these Vikings quite well against Void Rays, right? Like, you can definitely use, like, a hit-and-run strategy where you shoot 1 volley of missiles over at 1 Void Ray, and then you back off, and then you shoot another volley of missiles, and then you back off, right? He is starting up Stimpack right now as well, adding on 1 Marine at a time, hitting a supply block himself as well, because, well, I mean, this is still Silver League after all. And he's going to be able to, at the very least, utilize the units that he's got a little bit better once that upgrade finishes up. So I guess Abstractage right here in this game really hoped that his opponent would leave after the cannon rush. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to make Void Rays now. Let's hope I can get a winning advantage from there. Right now, though, the amount of Vikings here is so large that they're going to be able to get rid of all of those Voids. And that means that there's going to be very little remaining here for Abstractage to obtain the victory. Land the Vikings. Vent the Likings. Kill the Vylon. And that apparently means that even though Boy Wonder had some of the worst macro that I've ever seen, he is still the one who obtains the victory. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button. But for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright, and I will see you once again in the next one.